Our lesson for today is operations with negative fractions. Our goal is that we can simplify expressions involving 4 operations that include negative fractions. Addition and subtraction. How do you add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators? First, we find the common denominator. We multiply each part of the fraction by the same number of each to reach that common denominator. Then we simplify the answer. Of course, we have to add the numerators. I guess that should be in there. This process applies whenever the fractions are positive or negative. So we'll apply the previously taught rules of integers when we do this. So, to do this, example here, we have 1/2 plus negative 4/7. Our common denominator would be 14. So we have 1/2 is 7/14. And we'd have minus excuse me, 8/14 plus negative 8/14. And when we've got negative and a positive, so we subtract them, and we take the sign of the one with the greater absolute value, which would be the negative 8/14. And so we're going to have negative 1/14. On to our next problem. We have negative 3/5 minus 1/4. All right, so our common denominator is going to be 20. So we've got negative, and it's 20. So times 4 on the 3 and the 5. So we get 12. And then we rewrite, I'm going to do this in the same step, we rewrite subtraction as addition and add the opposite of 1/4. And we're going to multiply both of those by 5. So now we're adding 2 negatives, so we're going to add, and we get 17/20, and the sign was negative, so we apply that sign. Okay. All right, move this out of our way. Multiplication. How do we multiply fractions? First, we see if we can simplify either of the fractions by checking either numerator or denominator for common factors. We multiply straight across. No common denominator is needed. Apply the previously taught rules for multiplying integers. So same thing. So we've got parentheses here to show our multiplication. And first, we're going to look and see if we can do any cross-canceling to see if we can simplify it all. So here we've got a 4 in common with these two. So this becomes a 1, and this becomes a 2. And here we have a 3 in common with both of these. So this becomes a 3, this becomes a 1. So now I've got 1 times 1, and these are both negative. So again, I'm going to have a positive answer. If you notice here, 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6, and I've got positive 1/6. Extend this. Okay. Now I've got to make this next problem improper. 1 times 5 plus 2 gives me 7/5 times negative 2 times 2 plus 1 gives me 5/2. All right. I do my cross canceling, my 5s, oops. Closing parenthesis. All right, so I get a 1 and a 1. So now I have 7 times 1, which is 7, and 1 times 2, which is 2, and I had negative there. It is okay to leave this improper unless you're told otherwise, or so you can leave it like this, or you can change it to negative 3 and 1/2. All right. Moving right along. Division. How do we divide fractions? First, we change the division sign to multiplication, and we flip our second fraction. The common name for that is reciprocal. follow the multiplication rules from the previous slide. So again, we're applying our rules for integers, dividing integers to our fraction rules. So let's go ahead and do this one. We've got -2/7. We're going to flip, change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip 35/6. Okay. Now, 2 and 6 both have a factor of 2 in them, so we divide those out. And I change my colors just so you guys can see what I'm doing. 7 and 35 both have a factor of 7, so we get a 1 and a 5. And I'll extend my page so you can see. Okay, so now I multiply this out. I get 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. And it was a negative times a positive, so it's negative. Again, you can leave this like this unless you're told otherwise, or you may be more comfortable with making it mixed, and you would still have negative, and it's going to be 1 and 2/3. Either one of those answers is fine if you're not told what to do with it. All right, next one. -2 times 8, or -2 and 5/8, we gotta make that improper, becomes negative, let's see, 2 times 8, 21/8. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip this while I'm at it. Change division to multiplication. It's negative, and it's 16/7. So let's do our cross canceling. Here I have an 8 and 16, both divisible by 8, so I have 1 and 2. Over here, both of these have can be divided by 7, so I have a 1 and a 3. A negative times a negative is positive. 3 times 2 is 6/1, which is 1. Or I'm sorry, which is 6. So we are finished with that problem. Here's your on your own problems. So we have 2/3 minus -5/6. You guys, again, you need to pause these and come back and do them, or you can watch me do them. I will go ahead and do them, but hopefully you have paused them and done them yourselves. So we've got 2/3 and minus -5/6. Our common denominator here would be 6. So we've got 4/6 plus 5/6. And we get 9/6. We always simplify. Both of these can go to thirds. So we would have so 9/6 equals 3/2, which you can leave that way, or it becomes 1 and 1/2. All right, then we've got -4/7 and plus -3/4. Our common denominator would be 28. So we multiply both of those. See, we multiply this by 4, so it becomes 16. And the other one would be by 7, so we got 21. We add them together, because they both have the same sign, and we get 37. So now you can leave it like that again, like I said, or you can change it over and you would get -1 and 11/28. And the last one makes it improper. So you would have -2 plus 3, 18, and then flip the second number, and you get 20 and 9. Cross cancel what you can. 18 and 9 are both divisible by 9, so you get 1 there and 2 there. These are both divisible by 5, so you get 4 here. and 1 here. And, oh, forgot to bring my negative here. So the negative applies to the whole problem. Negative times negative gives me positive. And 2 times 4 is 8. So the whole thing is positive. All right, that's our lesson. If you have any questions, bring them to me next time we see each other. Have a nice day.